Before we talk about the approaches to conflict resolution, which is going to be the last thing we're going to talk about, let me quickly point your attention to the difference between conflict resolution, conflict management, and conflict transformation. Now, for conflict resolution, it refers to the process of resolving conflicts. That is conflict resolution. But conflict management involves identifying the factors and explaining these factors that are responsible for the conflicts, identifying the factors that cause the conflicts, and developing a strategy to prevent it from happening in the future. That is conflict management. You identify the root cause of the problem, you explain it, you understand it, so that you can prevent this same thing from happening in the future. And then conflict transformation. Conflict transformation involves changing the positions of the parties involved, putting one party in the position of the other party. Let's talk about the approaches to conflict resolution. One of the approaches to conflict resolution is forcing. Forcing involves pushing one side of the issue at the expense of the other. This is usually used as a last resort. This is usually used as a last resort to resolve long-running disagreements. The major drawback of this kind of approach to conflict resolution is that it can negatively affect their relationship with the other party. It can negatively affect the relationship with the other party. Another approach to conflict resolution is what is called the win-win or collaboration. So in this kind of approach, both parties win. Nobody is losing, and so the two of them are collaborating concerning the particular matter that is on ground. This involves working together to find a solution that both parties can agree on, and it is beneficial for both parties. The major drawback of this kind of approach is that it requires more time and effort than the other methods, so it may not be practical when there is a need for a quick response in that situation. Number 3, compromising. In compromising, the two parties talk about their perspective and finding a solution that both parties will agree on. This is different from the win-win, because in this compromising, the two of the parties may not benefit from the decision that is being made. And so that is the major drawback of this compromising strategy, this compromising approach. The drawback is that both parties may not be satisfied with the outcome, and that is what differentiates it from the collaboration. Number 4, withdrawing. Withdrawing involves disregarding the conflict. Withdrawing involves not addressing the issue, postponing it, running away from it, shying away from the situation on ground. Withdrawing can be beneficial when the problem is minor, or when it doesn't worth the time, it doesn't worth the stress, it doesn't worth the energy. And of course, sometimes both parties have other pressing issues to deal with, and so they don't have the time to conflict over that particular issue. That is where withdrawing comes to play. And lastly, we have smoothing. Smoothing involves accommodating other parties' concerns first, putting the other person into consideration first. And this can be done when the conflict is of more importance to one of the involved parties. Maybe it majorly affects one of the parties and the other party is not so affected. So this is where smoothing comes to play. So the other party that is majorly affected would be given preference. Smoothing can also be applied when one of the parties accept that they are wrong. And so that means the other party that is obviously right will take the lead. The major drawback of this smoothing approach is that it is not always possible to do so due to the priority of interest of the involved parties. So it's not all the time that it's only one party that will be that will be more concerned, that will be more affected. Sometimes it's the both parties that will have a high interest in the matter, and so in this kind of situation, the smoothing approach will not work.